This episode of the Official Block podcast is presented in proud partnership with Amazon, Cosentino, Freedom Furniture, Kinsman and Mitre 10. Hello and welcome to the Official Block podcast. I'm Shelley Craft. Well, the bedrooms might be looking soft and comfy, but the week that made them was anything but. Blues with builders, stumbles with styling, and some questionable craftsmanship was enough to keep the blockheads up all night. Still, at the very least, they've got some beds now. I'm sure no tears were shed packing up the tents. After their second win in a row, who else could we be talking to but Kristian and Mimi? They'll be up soon, but first, we pick the ever-delightful designer brain of one Mr. Darren Palmer. This is the Official Block Podcast. Darren Palmer, Daz man, look at it, 20 years of the block. Wow, how time flies, doesn't it? You first joined back in 2012 as a guest judge. You were young and fresh-faced, and look at you now. I think I should just call you Benjamin Button. You get younger and fresher every year.
Do you want to see something fun? Look at this. That's me and you at that time. And talk about fresh-faced, mate. Oh, we were dewy. Wow. Now it's like bulldog clip to the back of the head and some bit of gaff.
Look, we're not talking about what has changed for us, because nothing has. What's changed on the block? Or look, what hasn't changed on the block in 20 years?
Do you know what? I've changed a lot. It's interesting because that 2012 version of me, I was definitely more conservative in terms of how I wanted to be perceived. You know, I wanted people to think I was a serious, professional interior designer.
Maybe you were back then.
Well, yeah, I was, and I am. But it was really important for me to wear, a nice blazer and be well put together so people took me seriously, because that was always something that I thought was important. And also, interestingly, I came out as gay publicly in 2014, 2015. So when I went into the show, I was still, in public, not out. So that's I look at those photos and go, okay, like that person that I was then, it has definitely been able to grow and evolve because of the block, because we've been able to let people get to know us, and I've definitely felt more able to be myself and able to just let people see all of me. And that for me is a really special thing, and I think that we've gotten to experience with the block, and also something that's such a gift for being on a show for so long. And so many seasons, that people actually do get to know you if you let them. And it's encouraged to let yourself be open and see the joy and the idiosyncrasies and all the stuff that people actually love. I was afraid of my sense of humour for a really long time in public because it's just foul.
It's a bit off.
It's a bit off. But I think the more I show myself and the more I let my guard down, the more authentic I am, and then the more authentic that interaction with people is. And I'm really grateful for it.
So let's talk about the blog itself. What do you think's changed in that time? Remember those first rooms that you were judging? And again, as you said, you were going in there very professionally, but it would have taken a lot of imagination, really, compared to what we're seeing now, of course.
That's the interesting thing, right? That back in the day, there was a very clear delineation between this is what amateurs do in a week versus this is what a professional could do in their work. Now, it's like Pinterest, block, same. Like the level of finesse and detail and consideration and design and resolution and all the good things that make great rooms great, we see it. So you look back at sort of the evolution of the block and the rooms and style and how educated people are and how easy inspiration is to get. And, you know, it's not just getting it from magazines and books now, it's everywhere. It's in your hand all the time. And so it is little wonder that with shows like ours educating people so well, and with all the other things in social media and in the media being able to educate people, that they're getting more and more and more skilled, and the results are getting much, much better for that. But now it makes my job really, really hard because, you know, we used to be able to go, well, that's shit and that's great. And, you know, this is very clear. But now it's like, this is nuances of great. And that nuance of great is much, much harder to judge.
So is that to say that the judges this year, you don't start looking at the rooms the way you did 10 years ago? You're looking at them from what you saw last season and you want them to be better than the last room from the previous season.
You know what? It's better than every other room from every other season. That's the load that they have. That's the cross they've got to bear, because if we see a sniff of I saw this in 2016 or I saw this in 2020, we know we can cast our minds straight back there and go, right, that color was used then, this hexagonal tile was used then, that tile was used then. You know, you're just repeating something we've seen before and it's boring. And, you know, that's our point of view to them. From their point of view, I've worked my ass off for a whole week. I've made all of these decisions. It's turned out beautifully, exactly the way I pictured it. And then, it's not good enough. You know, I watched a show like that too. I watch back and go, oh man, okay, I look mean.
No, well, again, you're wanting to see something new. And, you know, as a whole, home fashion doesn't turn over that fast. No. You as a designer working in the business, it's your job to be ahead of the next trends. It's really hard to expect, you know, Joe Blow from New South Wales to be ahead of the trends.
It's interesting with trends because in eras gone by, hundreds of years ago, it used to be it would follow a monarch and how they decorated something. And then it would follow economic circumstances, so high detail or low detail because people had money or didn't have money. Mm-hmm. And these things would follow each other. And then those timeframes get shorter and shorter and shorter. There used to be lifetimes, and then they were like, you know, generations, and then they were shorter period of time, shorter. And then at some point, they stopped doing this and they went like this. And now we have all these trends that sit on top of each other at the same time. And they all operate as a pendulum running from high detail to low detail, to historical to modern, to clean lined to maximalist. And so this pendulum runs like this, and then they also stack up. So if you are a punter and you don't know what I know about why the psychology of trends happens and what is the driving force in economic circumstances and psychological reasons for people doing the things they do and wanting the things they want, you're looking at all this information and you're going, oh my God, how do I know what my style is? Mm-hmm. Like, how do I pick a style? Because they're all so trendy.
Did you just describe this year's contestants?
Yeah.
So look, it is an island. It is a holiday resort, what nightmares are made of. Are we looking for beach shack styling? Are we looking for that cliche, you know, tropical paradise? What do the judges want to see? What vibe are we looking for?
There is something to be said for what do people just want to have for a nice holiday with their family. My thinking on it is the houses need to sit in the environment they're in. Mm-hmm. And I think that's always a really important thing with architecture and interiors. And if you look at the environment of Phillip Island, there's black rocks, there's red pebbles on the beach, there's deep azure water, there's that lovely sort of wheaty, scrubby bushland, there's gum trees, there's all sorts of colours and textures and materials that inspire a colour palette and a materials palette. Mm-hmm. And I think if you play anywhere in that area, you're going to have a house that feels like it belongs in Phillip Island. If, on the other hand, it's glossy and shiny and plastic, then I don't know that it will fit as well on its landscape. It could work, but it probably isn't the right thing for Phillip Island. So that's my take on the brief for holiday homes and for holiday homes on Phillip Island.
And look, I know we throw the contestants in the deep end. They don't get a lot of time to suck up the atmosphere before they have to get started, because literally the minute they hit the block, they are under the pump. So I guess, when we hear Paige say that she was thrilled with the tag modern colonial as opposed to coastal grandma, she was then should have been and should be on the right track. Okay, that's what it's called, and that's what I'm going for to create a cohesive home. Once you've got that branding, I guess, from the judges, it does hopefully pave the way for an easier ride.
Yeah, I think that's one of the important things about defining a style. And if you're lucky enough to be able to put a name to it, that's great. But it's about setting parameters, and so those parameters help you make better decisions.
Does it? When we're talking Kylie and Brad, they've got a pretty bold take. They know exactly what their brief is, which is just black everything, black. They've got a very distinct brief. When do you stick to it, Darren? And when do you bend it? And when do you just break up with it?
I really feel for Colin and Brad, because on week 1, Shayna and Marty both really, really hated their bathroom. And I was saying, you know what, there's actually elements in here that I really like. And the black, it actually works. There's things in here that don't work, but the black really works and the timber really works. So black and timber, if that's where they're going, and black and timber with a little pop of rock and roll, I get it. So then we go into this week and I see black Coventry oak flooring. I'm like, awesome. That half, really, really great. This half, they hate it. She hates it. Clearly, she hates it. She doesn't love what she's done. She's done something that is a compromise to her because of the feedback she got the week before. And it's very hard because the contestants see the judges as this 3-headed hydra who all share one consciousness and say the same things. We don't. And I didn't. I said some really specific things in favor of the things that I think if she continues along in terms of the black and the oak, and she has that sense of personality and that little bit of rock and roll in there, I think they will have a really fantastic holiday home.
Well, let's hope they find that balance throughout the series. This week, of course, was the guest bedroom or the kids' bedroom, whichever way you're going to look at it. Are the rules different in a holiday house to what a kid's bedroom or a guest bedroom would be in your everyday, home?
Yes, they are to a degree. So I think what we've seen are some good block bedrooms, and we have lots of great robe space, really beautiful joinery from Kinsman, and then we see that variation of queen size beds, bunk beds, single beds. That is actually a really important consideration when you're doing a holiday home, is planning what the whole house is in terms of amenity. How many people does it sleep? How do they sleep? What bathrooms do they use? That's the important thing about a holiday home, that's even more important than your everyday house, because for your house, you know who's sleeping where. But for a holiday home, you need to allow that amenity to be flexible. So, personally, I quite like to get 2 king single beds ensemble bases, so that if you've got 2 people, they're there, or you can join them together, and it's a king bed. And if you can do that and have that flexibility of amenity, then that's going to give you the best possible result for a guest house, for a holiday house. Also, we don't interact with holiday homes in the same way. So, tell me if I'm wrong, but when I stay somewhere and I get my overnight little nice cosmetics bag out, I don't grab it and put it all in the face level storage. I actually just open the thing and put it on the bench space. Exactly. So bench space is more important in a holiday home. And also having a place, robes are really important. But within those things, if you've got a little desk there and you can put your suitcase on that and just live out of your suitcase,
Oh,
then
yeah.
that's also really important.
It's a different brief. We haven't seen this brief before.
It's nuanced. To put it mildly, it's nuanced.
And bottom of the line, it all comes down to budget yet again. And we did see in Kristen and Mimi's room this week some beautiful design aspects, but I'm saying you're burning cash early on with your carpentry. How important are those details? And I know they're going for the win, and every week they have to impress you guys with something different. But I think, wow, that was a lot of time spent on a detail that perhaps isn't as valuable in a holiday home.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the result, it's a beautiful room and it's really beautifully resolved. But then, and they won, so you can't
It's okay,
fault
they paid
spending
it off,
money.
right?
Exactly. But
For design's sake, I think was the phrase that you used. Yeah.
that's the thing. It was more a warning because you get the opportunity to go through and warn them and give them a heads up on things that you think you can see if they continue in that direction, they're headed for trouble. My warning to them is don't just make arbitrary design decisions and inclusions for the sake of design, because great rooms are resolved because you've answered questions, you've solved problems, and you have done things that either lead the eye in a direction, fooled the eye to think it's a bigger or smaller space, played with color and material so that you get a sense of feeling and tactility. All of these things have a purpose.
Not just design for design's sake.
Correct.
Darren, if only they could listen to this podcast before they renovated another room. Sadly, that won't happen. If I can pass on any info, it would be that a bedroom is designed for sleep. That is the purpose, isn't it?
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, on the block, how lovely will it be for them to actually be in a bedroom that they can sleep in, for one?
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Right?
I know. We put them in tents this year, so they have been camping, probably not getting a lot of sleep at all. In fact, we caught Paige wandering across the building site in her PJs. She was all blurry-eyed, and Foreman Dan actually wondered whether she was actually sleepwalking, whether she was awake at all. Guess you could jolt her into action with an air horn, or you could build yourself a beautiful bedroom, and hopefully this week they do catch up on some of their beauty sleep. Hey, excuse me. Speaking of beauty sleep, don't you have a fabulous list somewhere of what we could include in our bedrooms? Because you are now an ambassador for Amazon, are you not?
I am an Amazon influencer ambassador, yes. So we have this
gosh.
really cool thing where I've built a whole bunch of lists for Amazon, and they are in line with the weeks of the block so that you can see what the contestants are working on this week, and then you can go to my influencer list on amazon.com.au and then find some of the interesting, cool solutions that I've found that you might not expect for those rooms.
Okay, so we're going to see things like, I imagine, curtains and bed heads, which of course create that beautiful sanctuary.
Well, look, that's the thing. So, like, if these guys need to get some sleep, whether it's the people that buy the houses or the contestants after they pull an all-nighter, they're going to need to shut out the light, right? So we need some light, fast block-out curtains. I think that's a good thing. I think upholstered bed heads, rugs, bed covers, all those soft furnishings give you an acoustic buffering. That's important. But then, maybe you want to think about things like rechargeable light bulbs, so you can put it in a lamp that you might have forgot a PowerPoint for, or you might want...
Oh, they need that. They all need that. There's always PowerPoints in the wrong places.
Exactly. Or you might want noise-cancelling headphones or a white noise machine or something, so you can just have a nice ambient shh to sleep to.
Brilliant. So where do we find this list of yours?
You can go to amazon.com.au, and I am a influencer. We have a influencer, Darren Palmer official influencer list page.
Oh my God, you've made it.
Yes, and you can choose from any of the lovely products that I've put up there, and I've done the shopping for you. But you can shop at amazon.com.au.
And this is for every week. There'll be a list for every room that we're doing on the block.
There will be, yes, and a few special guest lists too.
Can't believe you're an ambassador. Can't believe you're an influencer.
I'm very influential, Shelley.
Well, that's all thanks to Amazon, so shop amazon.com.au. Darren, it is always a pleasure and a lot of fun chatting to you. I will catch up with you again on the Block Podcast very soon, I hope.
Can't wait, mate.
See you soon. Coming up next, winner, it's Kristian and Mimi. Kinsman Kitchens are not only proud sponsors of The Block, they're also the official kitchen supplier to The Block as well. That's right, Kinsman has been helping transform homes for years with Australian-made cabinetry, on-trend looks and design solutions for all kinds of spaces and places. So when Kitchen Week rolls around on The Block this year, remember the team behind our teams? Kinsman. For that welcoming feeling, the decision's always Kinsman. Book your free design appointment at kinsman.com.au. If you're building or renovating like our Block contestants, make sure Cosentino is a part of your design plans. With bench tops and surfaces for indoors and outdoors, Cosentino offers two amazing products. There's Decton, an ultra-compact porcelainic surface that's scratch and stain resistant, fireproof and backed by a 25-year warranty. And Sensor is Cosentino's stunning natural stone collection. With a unique protective treatment, you'll enjoy a maintenance-free benchtop with a 15-year warranty. Visit cosentino.com to find your nearest showroom. If, as we say, winners are grinners, well, I reckon this couple's cheeks are going to start hurting. Coming off the back of their second win in a row, in fact, giving them a 100% win rate so far, it is an official welcome to the Block podcast, Kristian and Mimi. Hi.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, doll, how you doing?
It's a lot.
Is it? Are you feeling it now?
Yeah, well, it's a lot of block consumption at the moment. Everything is the block.
Mm-hmm. You're feeling a little bit blocked up?
Yes, exactly right. Blocked up.
It's a lot of Kristian and Mimi too, isn't it? You guys are getting some good airtime.
Oh my God.
Well, let's talk about you two then as a couple because, you know, we now spent a couple of weeks with you and we've seen you go through a lot so far on the show. We had a lovely chat to Jessie and Paige last week and a really cute story about how they met. I guess if you call meeting outside a pub toilet.
That's quite cute.
I don't know. Anyway, how did you guys meet?
Depends how far back you want to go. We actually went to primary school together.
Oh, see, now if you'd told Scotty that, it would have been like Steph and Gian. They met when they were 12.
But yeah, Mimi and Candace, my sister, were like really good friends
in year 3
in primary school. But then years later, we ended up at the same gym and we sort of, I guess, reconnected there at like a gym Christmas party. And yeah.
The rest is history.
Well, recorded history because we saw your wedding video that went viral. That was a lot of fun. There was the caterpillar, was there not?
The worm.
And a few other interesting dance moves. Very proud second mum.
And because we met in 2020 and that was before COVID and I was meant to move to London for 2 years for work. And then COVID happened and then I couldn't leave. And then if I left, I don't think we would still be together. So everything happens for a reason. And then, so we met in 2020, COVID happened, we moved in together, got engaged, got married, went on the block. All in 4 years.
That has been no wonder you're tired, Mimi. No wonder you are feeling absolutely exhausted by this whole experience. And as you mentioned just before, you know, seeing yourself on the television, hearing what your friends and family think, and then hearing what people that you've never met think of you. Scotty and I in our walk-arounds during the week, we saw that you'd had a little bit of social media pushback, and that took you a bit by surprise, I think. Again, because you hadn't even been on the television by the time that came through. How are you feeling about that now?
It sounds weird. I don't want to sound like big-headed or anything, but, you know, in my life I've done like a lot of work on myself and seeing how I carry myself and how I speak and whatnot. Like, I'm actually proud of that, you know? So when that villain thing came out, all the work that I had done kind of like unraveled and I was like, am I a bad person? Am I all these things that my mum has called me in the past? But then, like, you know, Kristian's a great partner too. He kind of reassures me and you have your family and friends that reassure you. And then I actually reassure myself now as well.
Did you say we're not even the villains yet? We've only been here a week. How can anyone even tell whether we're going to be the villains or not?
And like, I'm a Disney fan, and like a villain to me is like an evil person, and we're just not that.
Yeah, and that's why I
this-
wasn't too fazed by it either, because I'm like, you know, they're just making up this false like narrative about us when they don't know. They don't know
Exactly.
us from a bar of soap.
And it seems, Christian, that you don't really worry about too much. You don't worry about, Dan and what he might say. You don't worry about Scotty and what he might say. You're very good at just brushing things off, my friend.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, in the moment, that definitely wasn't my proudest moment. But it's happened now and it won't happen again. I've never done anything like that in the past, so it's so out of character for me.
When we started and then he was behaving that way, I was like, who is this person? Because Christian is such a huge measure twice, cut once guy in his daily life, in his work, everything. He's a perfectionist. So it kind of shows like that pressure that you're under, that time pressure that can make you cut corners.
But having said that, you've got 2 wins under your belt now, and we are here to celebrate this fabulous win of the beautiful bedroom that you have created this week. Lots of ideas floating around. It seems that everyone is a little bit confused about what their style is going to be or how they're going to create this cohesive feel throughout the homes. Well, 2 wins. You guys must feel like you're on the right track.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it's big ups to Mimi from week 1 because she went to all of her tile selections and reselections without any idea about what our bathroom was going to look like. So I think right from the get-go, the fact that she sort of set the bathroom up and the design the way she did, it sort of set us on a good path
set the tone
for the rest of the house.
The whole house.
Exactly.
And, the timber, that continued through the whole house.
The porta timber, yeah.
We kind of, planned everything around that and tried our best to, I don't know, because we've never done this before. Like, this is all new.
Yeah.
Surprise! Welcome to the block.
And we are proud of ourselves, We've come in, no experience, and we've got 2 wins. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But so far, we're feeling, we've got a good stride.
Yeah.
That's it. And the fact that your house is so different to everybody else's, do you feel like too you're sort of running your own race a little bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, definitely having the biggest point of difference with the 2-story house with the balcony is something that we were so happy with. But yeah, like just the way we progress through and like we're just going to keep pushing and like week by week we're just going to try and...
Yeah. And what I like about our season is that everyone backs their house. Everyone is so competitive, but like because they love their house and they're proud of what they've done. They're proud of all the hard work they've put in. So I think, I really love our season.
Well, that's it. So much so that you even had a little bit of a cry after the judging the other night. You didn't really celebrate your second win. You said you felt bad. And why was that?
I didn't think I'd be like that, but I have created these incredible relationships with all the other contestants. And we know how hard it is to finish a room in a week. We know the blood, sweat and tears that go into every single week. And for me, I felt bad because I feel like everyone deserves to win because everyone's done the exact amount of like effort and
So bad that you'd split the winnings amongst your other 4 contestants?
No,
Not that bad.
It's
bad enough to have a tear, not bad enough to share any cash.
Straight after judging, I always feel that kind of like uncomfortable. But then the day after, I'm like, okay, we did that. We're proud. I just need to sleep on it.
I hope so. I hope you should be really proud. And look, again, if you were 10 weeks in and you'd still won every single week, and I don't know how this game is going to roll, but then I guess maybe you could start to feel a little bit bad. Although Steph and Gian, did they ever feel bad? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit of a different season, isn't it?
Very different.
Very different. Like last season, watching it back, it was crazy to see like the divide between the couples. And I think we sort of came in with the approach hoping for it not to be anything like that because who wants extra drama when you've already been thrown completely in the deep end and you have to finish a room a week and you've already got all the building problems that you come up against, it's like the last thing you want to do is to worry about all the other houses and all the drama on top of what's already going on in your own house. So
There's no time.
it was just very fortunate that everyone so far has been getting along.
Amen to that, Christian.
I know.
Yes.
It's all in-house drama, as everyone can see.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, back to your room this week. There was a fair. There was a lot. It was. It really was. It really was a lot.
I was like, when is it going to stop?
Well, when you start following the rules. Anyway, Mimi, you did call the bowing in the wall the David Bowie wall, which I thought was very, very funny. And it got us thinking here at the Official Block podcast that actually there are quite a few rock stars who have a place on the block. Would you like to play a little game with us called Renovation Rockstars?
Yes.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. any
I'm
rock
nervous.
The block is all about creativity, imagination and inventiveness. But you don't have to be a blockhead to use your spirit of inventiveness in your home. I love this Amazon customer who bought upholstery tacks and used them to create an impressive feature wall in her bedroom. She wrote, "It was way cheaper than wallpaper and I've used 500 tacks so far." Now, that is a 10 out of 10 for inventiveness from me. Real Amazon customers, real reviews, really. Amazon.com.au. Let's face it, we all have those DIY projects around the house that we keep putting off. If you're not sure how to get started, go see our mighty good friends at Mitre 10. You'll find the best brands at great prices, experts that can deliver some mighty helpful advice, tips and tricks, and the right tools you need to get your DIY projects done right the first time. Visit mitre10.com.au. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10. All right, well, here we go, and welcome to Renovation Rockstars. As Renovation Rockstars yourself, surely, recognised game, you'll be able to name these other musical artists with block-themed names based on the clue that I give you, and perhaps some, if you're listening carefully, of their biggest hit. Are you ready?
Okay.
You'll be working together for this one. So This is a team effort. This is not mate against mate. This is you guys as a team because you work so beautifully together. See if you can get them all right. And we can count this as your third block win for the week. How about that?
Ooh, let's go.
Let's hope.
Do we get
All
10
right.
grand if we win?
No.
I got nothing, just fun. All right, question number 1. Name this legendary Aussie pub rock band. It might be what happens if you accidentally confuse your esky for your toolbox.
Cold Chisel.
Well done, Christian. Yes,
Yes.
you can take that one home. Thank you very, very much. All right. Question number 2.
Like this Ariana Grande.
This Californian soft rock duo of the 70s share a name with those who are good with wood.
Carpenters.
Yes, Mimi. How would you even know that?
My
God,
parents
you
love them.
They did.
Yes.
Oh,
2
that's
from
what you wouldn't
2.
even
Let's go.
thought of. That is 2 from 2. Well done, house number 5. All right, ready for this one? It's an early 90s rapper. He nailed it when it came to pant fashion.
MC Hammer.
Oh, you didn't even need a little bit of this.
Oh, sorry. My dad had these pants.
Well done. It is MC Hammer indeed. Oh, let's see how far your musical knowledge spreads now. You might say this American industrial rock band of the 90s have material that is very measured. I really don't think this is an Ariana song. In fact, I don't know if she would have ever listened to this in her life. You obviously don't know the song.
Nah. I get a
No.
pass.
Oh, it is 9 Inch Nails.
No.
Oh, no.
No,
have
never
known.
heard of it. Oh, all right.
Sorry.
Well, let's see if you can get this one. This is the name of a 2000s British indie rock band that might remind you of a night out that you guys have before room reveals. What do you guys do on a Saturday night If you're not painting or trying to get some sleep, you are having a
All-nighter.
block party.
Oh, wait.
Damn it.
Block party.
Did you hear what I said? I was like, an all-nighter?
An all-nighter. Great name for a band, by the way. How many all-nighters did you have across the series?
Oh, God, too many.
Usually most Saturdays. Most Saturdays were an all-nighter.
But just remember, it's a life experience. The two of you are growing together as a couple. We are thrilled that you auditioned for the show. We are thrilled to have you here.
Thank you, Shelley.
Love you. I'll speak
Love
to
you
you
too.
soon.
Also, actually, Shell, before you go,
Yeah, mate.
I just want to say a big thank you to you as well, because like every Friday when you used to come in, it was just so refreshing. Like, I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the other contestants, but you know,
Sunshine.
we would really be like struggling, or we don't know if we're going to produce a room, and you would always come in, give us a hug and give us some like words of wisdom and encouragement, and it actually did help us get through, so thank you.
Literally.
Well,
Thank you.
It is my absolute pleasure. No, I don't know whether you're ever going to finish a room or not. Usually on Fridays, it doesn't look like you are.
No.
So I am blown away and bloody impressed every single Sunday when I watch the telly and see that you're finished. So all power to you. Oh, look, I wish I could be with you every single day and hold your hands a little bit more. But what kind of competition would that be then?
Yeah,
Exactly. Thanks, Shelley.
Don't miss the block this week on 9, because if you thought that first bathroom week was steamy, let me tell you, it's nothing compared to the hot water they're going to find themselves in as they tackle their main ensuites. Hit follow or subscribe so you are ready as soon as a new episode of the official Block podcast drops. Throw us a 5-star review if you love what we do, and we will see you back here next week. There's nothing quite like coming home to something you adore each day. Our friends at Kinsman Kitchens believe that's the feeling you should experience every time you step into your kitchen. With Australian-made cabinetry, on-trend looks and styles, an expert Kinsman designer can help you create a kitchen that not only looks great, but is functional for you and your family. For that welcoming feeling, the decision's always Kinsman. Book your free design appointment at kinsman.com.au. Thanks for listening to the Block podcast. Remember, if you're building or renovating, Cosentino benchtops and surfaces are the absolute best from Spain, perfect for indoors and out. There's the ultra-compact porcelainic Decton, which is scratch and stain resistant, fireproof and backed by a 25-year warranty. And with the stunning Sensor Natural Stone Collection, you'll get maintenance-free benchtops with a 15-year warranty. Like our contestants, install the best for your home. Visit Cosentino.com to find your nearest showroom. The Block is all about creativity, imagination and inventiveness. But you don't have to be a blockhead to use your spirit of inventiveness in your home. And some of the simplest ideas can be the most effective. Like this Amazon customer. He bought 6 smart home plugs and attached them to all the lamps in his living room. Now they all turn on simultaneously at dusk, which in his words creates an awesome ambience. Well done, mate. That is a great idea. Real Amazon customers, real reviews, really. Amazon.com.au. Feeling inspired by our Blockheads challenges? Think you can nail it too? Well, our mighty friends at Mitre 10 can deliver some mighty helpful advice when you're looking to recreate these block projects in your own home. So whether it's making an art gallery wall, perhaps building a plinth for your sculpture, or doing a retaining wall in the garden, let the mighty experts at Mitre 10 help you nail your DIY project the first time. Visit mitre10.com.au. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10.